Welcome. Thank you so much for joining me today. The conversation I wanted to have with you today is what makes a good teacher, and exactly what it is that makes a good teacher is what makes you effective in life. So the very same process, the very same work that you need to do to become effective in teaching, effective in inspiring others, and effective in being that example of what it is to be on the path of yoga is the exact same thing that's going to make your life work. And what is that? That is showing up to do the inner work, the true yoga, doing the work that helps you to be more effective in your relationships, more effective in how you're showing up in the world. And that's the work that most of us like to avoid. And we jump from training to training, trying to learn, what's the magic mantra that's going to change everything, or what's the meditation that is going to help me finally realize, have that self-actualization, that awakening, or what are the poses that are going to wow my students, or how to create the most creative sequencing. To be effective as a teacher, you need to be a clear channel for the teachings. That is the work that you need to do, and there's only one way to do that, and that's to establish sadhana, a daily practice. And most teachers, or many teachers that I've come in contact with, have not established that, and yet it is the number one requirement to being effective as a teacher. Why? Because a daily sadhana is where you do the work on the subconscious. We clear the subconscious blocks that get in the way of the teaching. So we want to be a clear conduit for the information to come through us, to flow through us, so that we're not teaching from effectively what are the imbalances of the lower chakras. So if I'm not teaching as a clear channel, it might be my ego that's in charge, and that's when I get confused that believing that the students are coming to me to have an experience of being with me with the practice, when in fact your students aren't there for you. They're there to experience themselves, their true selves, to come back home to themselves. That's what the practice really is all about, to awaken to your true self. So when there are imbalances of the third chakra, one of two things can happen. The ego can be too strong, and you start to believe that your students are there for you, and that's not effective. Or the opposite, that you're so insecure. You're either overly secure and maybe too full of yourself in some way, or insecure, and you have a lot to share, but you don't have the confidence to step up and share it. And so often we go from teacher to teacher, to one method of yoga to another, looking for what it is that's going to help us to step up, to step into our potential. What it is that's going to help you to do that is to clear those lower chakra blocks that keep you from working with your Kundalini energy, from accessing that incredible energy that can empower you and change your life. The work is nothing short of life-changing. There's absolutely no way that you can do these practices and not experience change in your life. So that's the warning. It is impossible to do these practices and not experience some sort of shift. So that's when you know that the yoga is working. Not if you nail that really challenging pose. That's nice, but you can do that in a gymnastics class. You can do it, you can do it in an exercise class that has nothing to do with yoga. Is the work that you're doing creating an impact on your life? Is the way that you're teaching having an impact on your students? To have an impact on your students, you have to be doing this daily sadhana, this daily practice of clearing those subconscious blocks. So we talked about one of them. The third chakra imbalances could be that overinflated ego, where you don't realize that the students aren't there for an experience of you. They're there for an experience of themselves. So you got to get out of the way and become that clear channel. Second chakra imbalances, attachments. We, as teachers, we can really do a disservice to our students when we don't empower them and we create dependence, these unhealthy attachments, student to teacher, teacher to student. Of course, it's beautiful to be in community. It is an incredible thing to be able to practice together, but the role of the teacher is to empower the students so that they can always have the yoga in their life, that they're not dependent on you. So when you are not able to go to that class anymore, when you're not able to be with that teacher anymore, will your practice continue? Because the practice is independent of that teacher. The teacher is there to point you in the right direction, to give you some tools, to give you some techniques, to inspire you. But the work is yours and yours alone to continue. So as a teacher, are you empowering your students? I keep referring to, as a teacher, what are you doing and how are you teaching? Primarily because right now I've got my Foundations of Teaching Kundalini Awakening course open for enrollment. So we are having a lot of conversations right now about the path of the teacher, but the path of the teacher, what has you excel as a teacher and what has you excel in life are the exact same things. So we don't want to be creating these unhealthy attachments, just as you would want to empower your students, you want to empower your children, you want to, in relationship, you don't want to have these needy, codependent relationships. You want to be able to come together as two strong individuals, as two whole people. We're coming back to wholeness. Now, another huge impediment to being effective in your teaching is fear and anxiety. And so, we want to have these spiritual experiences. We want to have these awakenings, but that is dependent on clearing these fears and starting that journey from fear to faith. The two energies can't coexist. You cannot really step up in any way in your life as a teacher. If you are overwhelmed by fear, it will cause you to shrink. It will cause you to pull back. It will cause you to hesitate to say the things that need to be said in any relationship, whether it's in class or in your home. And this is how, that leads to ineffectiveness in the teaching, because you don't have the inner strength to stand there and share what you know from your heart needs to be shared. And in your home, in your relationships, when you don't have the courage to have those difficult conversations. As I said, I keep flipping back and forth between your life and your journey as a yoga teacher. It's the same thing. We call this journey that we take in yoga, this yoga teacher training journey. In truth, it is a journey of personal transformation. It's a journey of awakening to who you are. It's awakening to your potential. And the number one requirement is that you have a daily committed practice. And that doesn't mean hours and hours of practice every single day. It means sometime each and every day where you check in and you make sure that you're taking your direction from your higher consciousness. It's the same place that you want to be taking direction when you're teaching. You don't want to be taking direction from your ego or taking direction from your fear that causes you to shrink, to pull back, to not say what needs to be said, to not be comfortable, in front of others, to not be comfortable to share what needs to be shared from the heart. You want to take direction from your higher consciousness because that is what's going to create transformation for you and for your students. True intelligence comes from your higher consciousness. It doesn't come from those wild thoughts that are coursing through our minds all the time. Those create confusion. And it's those thoughts that lead, those obsessive thoughts that we haven't learned to interrupt the pattern of negativity. That's what we're going to start with today. I didn't mention when I started talking here that we're going to start with a class, or we're going to do a class shortly, because that's where the real changes happen. That's where the real learning happens, because we can't listen in the same way, we can't learn in the same way when we're not really open. Right? How open are you right now in this moment sitting there? Are you open to learning something new? Are you open to trying something new? What keeps us from being open? A lot of it is insecurity and anxiety and fear. And we're living in this climate of fear right now. And it is causing us to shut down and pull back. And it is changing our lives in some good ways and some not so good ways. So these same energies that are affecting you now also affect your teaching. The journey of the teacher has to be a commitment to personal transformation, as well as learning the tools and techniques to keep your students safe, to understand how the body works, to understand how to put a class together. And that's, that's what the training that I offer you is all about, having both elements as part of your training, because learning the tools and techniques are not enough. Number one, you will burn out as a teacher. You burn out in life if you don't have that daily check-in with yourself, with your higher consciousness, because then you're spinning your wheels. You're constantly doing the things in life just aren't right for you. Things that you just get off track over and over again when you're not taking your direction from your higher consciousness. So what do I mean when you're taking direction from your higher consciousness? There are the thoughts that we think, and most of those thoughts are just these repetitive thoughts. We don't necessarily, once in a while something creative comes in, but mostly our mind is on some sort of loop, thinking the same old things over and over again. So we're going to work a little bit on releasing negativity today and breaking habit patterns. But the wisdom, the information that you need to transform your life, to transform the lives of others, if you're on the teaching path, is the type of information that comes to you when you are in a flow state. And we create flow states through yoga. Flow states are created when we're fully absorbed in doing something we love in some creative pursuit, or maybe when you're running, when you're swimming, when you're out in nature, when you're in flow states. So these are practices maybe that we don't do every day, those things that we love. We don't, unfortunately, make time every day for those things, but we can set aside some time each and every day to purposely create a flow state that allows us to receive the information we need to transform our lives. And if you are on the teaching path, it is that same flow state that will bring you the most powerful insights that you need to lead your students on a journey with you. So I like to think of the journey between the teacher and the student as one where it's a heart-to-heart transmission of information. The teacher and the student are equals, sharing information. I learn as much from my students as hopefully they're learning from me as we take this journey together. There is no hierarchy here in the teachings. We learn from each other. It's really about community, and we inspire each other. And this is the work that we're going to be doing in the Foundations of Teaching course that's coming up. And those of you who are interested in these tools and techniques of transformation, I'll take a little bit of time after our class to let you know what's happening in this course that's now open for enrollment. So if you're ready for a class, there are a few things that I already touched on we're going to do. We're going to make sure we do a little bit of work on breaking patterns, but we're going to start with a meditation, really mantra and movement to help us cut through negativity, to get out of that negative mind loop that affects us in more ways than we realize. And we were just talking last night with my group from the Self-Mastery series. We were talking about those negative mind loops. That's something that you're going to definitely learn more about in your training. We think that we try to be very positive. We try to be these, uplifting, inspirational people in our classes, in our lives. But what's really going on? We're carrying a lot of unresolved stuff, and it's time to drop that baggage. And as a teacher, you're going to be far more effective the sooner you drop that baggage and you figure out how to move on, how to start working with these powerful energies that are available to you, and running from teacher to teacher to teacher, from system of yoga to system of yoga. I did that too. I did umpteen different trainings and studied with many, many teachers, and it truly was a gift. And at some point, we have to learn that the greatest teachings are the ones that we receive through our higher consciousness. So I want you to learn, I would love for you to be able to learn how to do that as well. We need both. We need the teachers that show us the tools and techniques, and we need the teachers that point us to go back inside and get those downloads. So let's practice. We're going to work with the mantra Had Hari. So Had, H-A-R, Hari, H-A-R-I. And the reason we use that mantra is because of the powerful third chakra activation it creates, this pumping action at the belly. And we may use breath of fire a little bit in the practice as well. That's that breath technique. The inhale and exhale are equal parts, in and out through the nose. If it makes you feel dizzy, it is a very cleansing breath. It's very energizing. If it makes you feel dizzy, just switch over to long, deep breathing. That's an option. Do what feels right in your body. Deep squats are not a good idea for anybody with issues with their knees. So if that's you, please modify by doing a standing squat. When we get into the courses and the trainings, we go through a lot about keeping the body safe. So there's only so much I can tell you now as we're having these short conversations. But most importantly, really listen to your body. Respect your body's limits. Stop when you need to stop. And thank you everybody for being here. And I see some lovely familiar faces. Liz, Mar, Bonnie, some of our family from the Self-Mastery series. Let's get to practice. Let's do it. So hop onto your mat. Let's come sitting tall, spine straight, chin parallel to the floor. Extend your hands out over your knees, thumb and index finger pressed together. Close your eyes, go inward and breathe deep. Long, deep inhale. Full and complete exhale. Long, deep inhale. Full and complete exhale. Begin with the mantra Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Rub your palms together briskly. Hands to heart center, shoulders relaxed. Inhale through the nose. Exhale. And inhale to begin. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Inhale deeply and hold. Keep the shoulders relaxed. Stay connected to that place of peace deep inside. With the eyes closed, exhale. One more. Deep inhale, fill the heart. And exhale. Release the hands, shake it out. Cupping the hands just slightly. Hit the inner thighs on Had. Right hand to the top, just almost to the shoulder. Had. Left. Had. Clap your hands together. Hari. Got it? Had. Right hand first. Had. Left. Had. Hari. Had. 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 Hari. Had. 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 Hari. Had. 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 Hari. 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 had, Hari, 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 had, just a little bit longer, had, Hari, had, Hari, had, Hari, had, Hari, had, Hari, had, Hari, had, three more, had, Hari, had, Hari, inhale, hold it, exhale, one more deep inhale, and exhale. Extend the arms straight out to the sides. We're going to pump the arms 3 times. Had, unheady, hit the floor. Had, unheady, clap overhead. Had, hit the floor. Same thing, clap in front. Breaking patterns, and let's go. Had, heady, 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 had, 3 more, had, heady, had, heady, had, heady, had, 2 more, had, heady, had, heady, had, heady, had, last round, had, heady, had, heady, had, heady, had, heady, inhale, hold it, exhale, one more deep inhale, exhale, bring the palms to the floor, roll over your knees, come into tabletop any way you can. Inhale, gaze skyward, let the belly sag. On the exhale, curl the toes under, press back, down dog. Come up onto the balls of the feet, soften the knees a little bit. Lift the left leg up behind you. Keep the hip bones pointing to the floor. Had, left leg out to the side. Had, bring it back. Had, hari, right side. Had, hari. 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 Had, last side. Had, hari, inhale. And hold it, exhale. Deep inhale. Exhale, drop down onto your knees. Gaze skyward, let the belly sag. Had, pull the toes under, press back down. Down dog, hari, drop down onto your knees. Gaze skyward. Had, press back, hari. Just a few more rounds. Had, hari. Had, hari. Had, hari. Had, hari. 2 more. Had, hari. Last time. Had, hari. Deep inhale. And exhale. Bend the knees deeply. Walk the feet towards your hands. On the next inhale, float the arms way up high, reach high. And on the exhale, bend the knees around the spine, touch the earth. Inhale, float the heart to the sky. And exhale, come down. Inhale, all the way up. Exhale. Again, inhale. Exhale and inhale, reach all the way up high. Exhale, stay right here. Keep reaching high. Separate your feet so they're wider than hip distance. Check in with your knees. If there's pressure in the knees, please don't do a full squat. When you come forward, bend the knees a little bit to take the pressure of the low back. When you come up, make sure you use the mantra to keep the belly strong and protect the back. Touch the floor. Had, reach high, hari. Standing squatter all the way down. Had, hari, fold. Had, hari. Had, hari, 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 had. Watch your back, go slower if you need to. Had, hari, 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 had. Last round, had, hari, had, hari. Inhale, reach high. Exhale, keep reaching. Inhale, reach higher. Exhale, keep reaching. Pivot the feet wider. If you have issues with your knees, stay exactly as you are. If you can, all the way down. Keep the arms reaching high. Keep the arms straight as you can. Crisscross. Hut, 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 hut. Hold it here, inhale. Keep reaching, exhale. Inhale, reach. On the exhale, bring your hands onto your thighs. Bring the back parallel to the floor with the mantra. Had. Sink down low. Hari. Had. Hari. You can come to standing anytime. Hari. Had. 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 Hari. 3 more. Had. Hari. Had. Hari. Last one. Had. Hari. Stay down. Inhale. And exhale. Extend the arms. Press the palms together. Clap the hands here one time. Had. Come to standing. Hari. Down only as far as you choose. Had. Hari. 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 Had. Just 3 more. Had. Hari. Had. Hari. Last time. Had. Hari. Inhale, reach high. Exhale. Inhale, reach higher. On the exhale, bring the left hand to the level of the heart. Palm faces down. Right hand on top. Feet are still wide. As you come forward, it's okay to bend the knees and keep the belly strong coming up. Touch the floor. Had, come up. Hari, to your left. Had, Hari, center. Had, Hari, your right. Had, Hari, center. Had, Hari, left. Had, Hari, center. Had, Hari, right. Had, Hari, keep going. Had, Hari, 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 had, and to center. Had, Hari. Inhale. Hold it right here. Exhale. One more deep inhale. And exhale. Pivot the feet so the toes point slightly outward. Knees tracking over your toes. When you're ready, extend the left arm out to the side. Had, and bring it back. Right arm. Had, left. Had, right arm. Hari. And back up to standing the same way. Left arm. Had, right. Had, had, Hari. Had, 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 Hari. If the legs are tired, just work with the arms. Do whatever you can do. If everything is tired, just work with the mantra. You have options. Had, 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 Hari. Had, 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 Hari. had, 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 hari. Had, had, hari. Had, hari. One more round. Had, hari. Back to standing. Had, hari. Extend both arms out. Inhale. Hold it right here. Exhale. Deep inhale. And exhale. Release the arms. Bring the feet together. Check in with your body. If you have issues with your low back or your knees, do not jump. Just work with the mantra and walk. We're going to do jumping jacks, the ones where we stop in the middle. This helps us to break patterns. So it's had, hari. When you're ready, let's do it. Had, hari. 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 Last time. Had, hari. Bring your hands under your hips. Left leg up when you're ready. Had, and then across the leg. Had, bring it up. Had, hari. Right leg up. Had, across. Had, hari. Slowly or quickly, you decide. Had, hari. 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 Had, last side. Had, hari. Left leg and then the right. Had. Go slower if you choose. It's up to you. Had. Just do what you can. Last little bit. Hard all the way to the sky. Hard. Bend the knees, let it go. Hey, all the way up. Hard. Hey. Hard. Hey. Hard. Hey. 3 more. Hard. Hey. Hard. Hey. Last time. Hard. Hey. And inhale, reach high. Exhale. Inhale, keep reaching high. And on the exhale, open your arms up wide. Slowly. Slowly release your arms to your sides. Take your time. Take your time. Bring your left palm onto your heart and your right hand over top. Close your eyes. Feel your heartbeat. Feel that energy moving inside you. Tap into that strength. Deep inhale. Exhale. One more time. Breathe deep. Deep inhale. And on the exhale, release the arms by your sides. If you're not ready to move, stay exactly as you are. If you can, one more round for those jumping jacks where we're stopping in between and go. Had, hitty, had, hitty, had, hitty, had, You've got this 10 more seconds. Hard, 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 hard to the sky all the way up, hard, bend the knees, let it go, hurry, all the way up, hard, hurry, hard, hurry, hard, hurry, 3 more, hard, hurry, hard, hurry, last time, hard, hurry, and inhale, reach high, exhale, inhale, keep reaching. On the exhale, open the arms up wide as you slowly release your arms to your sides. Take your time. Take your time. Deep inhale and exhale. Deep inhale and exhale. Soften the knees a little bit. Bring the hands so they're 6 inches apart. 15 centimeters. Let's go. Had, hari, had, hari, had, hari, had, hari. Keep going. Had, hari, had, hari, had, hari. Working on the brain. Had, hari. You've got this. Had, hari, 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 had, hari. Hard, hari, 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 hard, hari. Last little bit. Hard, hari, hard, hari, hard, hari, hard, hari, hard, hari, hard, hari. Hard, hari, hard, hari, hard, hari, hard, hari, hard, hari. Last time. Hard, hari. Inhale, reach high. And exhale, keep reaching high. Pivot the feet wider than hip distance. Standing squat or all the way down. Crisscross. Hud, 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 hud. Hud, 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 hud. Strong arms. Hud, hud. Really pump powerfully. Hud, 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 hud. Hud, 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 hud. Hold it, inhale. Hold it, exhale. Breathe deep, inhale. On the exhale, release the hands. Pivot the toes so the toes point forward. Check in with your body. If you need to stand up, stand up. Grab a hold in front of the ankles. Bring the legs almost to straight. Had, come down. Hari, had, 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 hari. Just 3 more. Had, hari, hard, hari, last time, hard, hari, inhale, and exhale, bring the hands in behind you, lower the buttocks to the floor, give yourself a little extra padding if you need, find that balance point on the base of the spine, hands in behind you to support you. Bring the legs up. You can keep the knees bent, that's an option. If you choose, straighten the legs, crisscross, head, 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 a little bit longer, head, 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 hold it, inhale, hold it, exhale, one more deep inhale, exhale, bend the knees, bring the legs into easy pose, hold it here, sitting tall, hands open, hands at the level of the shoulders, shoot the arms out at 60 degrees, hard, back to your shoulders, hard, straight out to your sides, palms face the floor, hard, back to your shoulders, hari. When you're ready, go. Had, hari, 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 had, three more, had, hari, had, last time, had, hari, inhale, hold it, exhale, deep inhale, and exhale, release the arms, shake it out, swing the legs out from underneath you, come on to your forearms, palms to the floor. You can stay right here and simply work with mantra, that's an option. If you choose, step all the way back to plank, bring your feet together, spin to the outer blade of the left foot, feet are stacked. Dip the hips lower, don't touch. Had, lift, hari. Had, hari. Had, hari. Had, stop and rest when you need to. Had, hari. Had, hari. Had, hari. Had, hari. Had, hari. Had, hari. Last time. Had, hari. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale onto your toes. Drop your knees to the floor. Exhale. Pause. Hold it here. You can stay exactly as you are if you choose. All the way back to plank. Pivot to the outer blade of the right foot. Dip the hips, lower, don't touch. Had, lift, hari. Had, 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 last time. Had, hari, inhale. Hold it, exhale. Inhale onto your toes. Exhale, knees to the floor. Walk yourself all the way back and come standing on your knees. From here, interlace the hands at the small of the back. Straighten the arms best you can to press the heart open. Bow forward. Had, stand on the knees. Had, sit back on your heels. Had, hari. 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 Had, three more. Had, hari. Had, hari. Last time. Had, hari. Inhale. Exhale, one more deep inhale. On the exhale, sit back on your heels. Release the hands and come all the way down onto your back. Drop both knees into your chest. Wrap your arms around your legs and rock the body side to side. Come back to center, extend both arms straight up to 90. On Had, on Hari, if you have issues with your low back, please bring the legs up high. If you can, shoot the legs straight out. Skim the earth, don't touch. When you're ready, Had, extend the legs. Hari. Had, 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 Hari. 3 more. Had, Hari. Had, Hari. Last time. Had, Hari. Draw both knees into your chest. Wrap your arms around your legs and rock the body side to side. From here, come back to center, extend the legs. If this is too much for the low back, lower one leg or lower the head. When you're ready, hands, head, feet, all 6 inches off the floor. Pump your belly, breath of fire. Inhale, hold it, exhale, one more deep inhale. Exhale and let it go. Both knees into your chest, wrap your arms around your legs, rock the body side to side. And come back to center. Release the legs, release the arms, the palms face the sky. Find that place of surrender, that place of release. The body be heavy. Just let yourself go. Stay exactly as you are. Deepest inhale to wake up your heart. Deep inhale. Full and complete exhale. Again, breathe deep, deep inhale. And exhale. Rub the soles of the feet and the palms together over top of the body, stimulating all 72,000 nerve endings. And tuck your hands underneath your knees, rock up and back on your spine, and come sitting tall. And bring your hands to heart center. Thumbs pressed right up against the sternum, and pull the shoulders way back. Close your eyes and breathe right into your heart. Breathe deep, deep inhale and exhale. What is that repeating pattern in your life that you're ready to break? What is something that keeps happening over and over again that you're ready to stop? Deep inhale, exhale, and inhale to close. Inhale. Sat Nam. Sat Nam. Thank you so much for joining us this morning for practice. And for those of you that missed, that joined us late and missed what the conversation was around, the conversation today was about what it is that makes you effective as a teacher is exactly what makes you effective in your life. There is no value to doing these practices if they don't have a real impact on how you're living your life, on how you feel when you're out in the world. Are you feeling insecure and anxious? Are you consumed with fear? What is happening for you? These practices are meant to serve your life, and if you figure out how to do that, all of that subconscious clearing that happens, getting control of the ego, getting control of our insecurities, overcoming our attachments, learning how to own our stuff, learning how to process our stuff in a healthy way is exactly what's going to make you most effective as a teacher. And there's a method to do that. There is a method to this madness that we call Kundalini, and the method that I offer you is this training that's offered in 2 parts so that we don't neglect the most important aspect of the teacher training journey, which is this personal development piece. So I'll just speak to that for just a moment because that's the course that is open for enrollment right now, the Foundations of Teaching course, and I am receiving a lot of questions, and I want to make sure that you understand that this teacher training journey is completely unique. There's no other training I'm aware of that breaks training up into these 2 distinct parts, because we can be consumed by trying to learn the perfect pose, or trying to learn another mantra, or trying to learn another meditation, and forgetting that we need to immerse ourselves in the practice to experience the transformation so that we can then be that clear conduit for the teachings to come through us. That's our work. That is what makes you effective as a teacher. That is what makes you effective in every area of your life. And it's not about becoming perfect. It's about being committed to doing better each and every day. And of course, there is this, the thought that, or a lot of push about, acceptance. Of course, we have to accept ourselves. Self-acceptance is really important, but we also can't let ourselves off the hook. There are behaviors that need to stop. There are self-sabotaging behaviors that need to stop, and not doing the real self-care is a bit of self-sabotage. If anxiety is holding us back in life, if our insecurities are holding us back in life, if our past hurts are holding us back, then that's what we've got to address. That's real self-care. That's real and radical self-care, is confronting ourselves. So I do have some questions I want to address. Some of you are asking some specifics about the training itself, and I'm trying to kind of glance at these as I have a conversation with you. But those of you who are interested in the training, in terms of the training hours doing the two aspects of the course together, the self-mastery series courses, which are the personal development aspect, and the foundations of teaching course, is how you get your 200-hour teacher training certificate. And it is 200 hours that's required by Yoga Alliance, the certifying body, to be able to teach in any style of yoga. So that's how you can get your 200 hours in this Kundalini awakening style. But if you already have a certificate in another style of yoga, then you can simply add this foundations of teaching course to now learn the tools and techniques. And if you want to then join us for some of the self-mastery courses later, you can always add those at a later time. So those of you who already have a certificate, you do have the option of just taking the foundations of teachings course now. If this journey is all new to you, if you're just starting out, it's important to know as well that this is the only year that Yoga Alliance is allowing you to do your entire 200-hour certification online. This has never happened before, and we don't know if it'll extend into next year, but as far as we know right now, you can only do your complete teacher training certification 100% online up until December 31st. The Foundations of Teaching course is a 40-day course. You completing all the course requirements probably will not take you longer than about 60 days. And it is 60 hours of credits. Now, whether those credits will be considered teacher training credits or continuing education credits just depends how the Yoga Alliance rules change and morph over this year, where so many studios are closing. So you may be allowed to combine different training credits to work up to a 300-hour certificate. Those of you that know all the Yoga Alliance lingo, regardless, if you already have a teaching certificate, the Foundations of Teaching course is all you need to add the style to what you're doing. If you decide to do the whole journey, then you're going to have, which is the Self-Mastery Series Personal Transformation Journey plus the Foundations of Teaching journey, that's going to give you a 200-hour certificate if you don't have one already. So those are the options for you, and I'll be sure to add the link here so that you know. And in terms of, I think I answered I'm just going back and forth from your questions here. In terms of hours, is 60 hours of training for the Foundations of Teaching and 200 hours if you do the Self-Mastery and the Foundations of Teaching. It is a beautiful community. Many of the Self-Mastery Series community students, some of you are here on this call, are joining us for this next piece, the Foundations of Teaching Kundalini Awakening Yoga. There's been a lot of questions about how similar this is to what people consider traditional Kundalini or Kundalini yoga as taught by Yogi Bhajan. This is not Kundalini yoga as taught by Yogi Bhajan. Of course, we're going to glance at those Kriyas and have a look at them, because when most people talk about Kundalini, that's what they're referring to. So we should have awareness of what people have been teaching as Kundalini to this point in time. But that's not the style that I'm teaching. So we will learn the different breath techniques around Kundalini, breath techniques, mantra, mudra, the poses, how to create classes. That's the biggest difference between the style and other styles of Kundalini, is that you will learn how to create Kriyas for yourself based on my 25 years of both working with Kundalini yoga, but also working with many different lineages from Kundalini to Iyengar and everything in between. I had many blessings in my last 25 years of running the studios, in that I was able to host many master teachers, from Gurumukh to Dharma Mitra to Rod Stryker to Shiva Ray. So I've got to experience many teachers. Every weekend was another 12-hour immersion into another teacher's style and another teacher's style. So I really feel blessed to have experienced so many different teachers, so many different styles, and to bring some of that to you, even in this Kundalini training, because it isn't so much about different styles of yoga as the truth of yoga, and the truth of yoga rings true in all of those styles. There's a thread that runs through all of them that you'll see all teachers carry through, and so that thread carries through to you here in this Kundalini awakening yoga practice that really was founded to make Kundalini more accessible, because it is a style that is so powerful, so quick, so effective, and yet alienates so many people because of the way that it's been presented for the past many years. So here it is for you in a more accessible form, in a way that will work very quickly for you. So Liz, I know you're asking the dates and times of the course. We're starting on March 27th, and the course content is going to be more similar to the Freedom from Fear. I think you did that course with us as well, where we get the course content is released twice a week to give you time to do the work and absorb the content before our calls. So core content, the pre-recorded content, is released every Friday and Tuesday, and then we get together for our live calls every Saturday and Wednesday, and those calls will be recorded. The weekend call will be 8 a.m. Pacific time, and the weekday call is 9 a.m. Pacific time. And I know that's not going to work for everybody, but they will all be recorded, so you will have access to everything ongoing. And I think it's very cool to have, the tools and techniques course recorded, because then you can go back and back and back and review the concepts and review the poses and review all this core information that's going to be super helpful when you go to create your own classes for your students. And if you really want to learn how to teach, then the number one thing you got to do is start teaching. So of course it's a huge value to experience different trainings with lots of different teachers and workshops and all of that, but check in and see if you reach the point where you're just creating more confusion for yourself. So go and study what you're called to study, and then figure out what it is that's stopping you from getting out there and sharing what you love. And if it is one of these things, if it's the confidence, if it's the insecurity, if it's the anxiety, if it's one of these things, then you've got to be really committed to establishing that sadhana, that daily practice, to keep doing this subconscious cleansing, so you can truly effectively teach as that clear conduit of these beautiful teachings that are downloading, that are ready and waiting to download through you when you clear the way. So thank you for being here today. We'll be, just one last glance at your questions, will we be practicing live online with each other? All of the classes are pre-recorded, and we've got safety checks built into the curriculum so that we make sure that the practice lands with you. We may do some live classes. We'll see how it goes. That's the beauty of the way it's set up, that I do take a very hands-on approach to it. So if I'm feeling that we need to change, adapt, or brings a new element to it, absolutely, that will happen. Satnam, thank you for being here, and I will add the link so you can check out the details. We're starting March 27th, but the final day to register is March 25th. And remember, this is the only time Yoga Alliance is allowing you to do your entire training online. So if this is something you've been wanting to do, maybe this is the year to do it. Satnam, have a beautiful day.